Okay, our recording has started. And thank you again for coming. For those of you who don't know, my name is Rudy Swafford. I'm the principal here at Summerfield Charter Academy. And this is number 2 of 3 of our new family orientation meetings. Normally, I hold them Tuesday at 10 because it has a nice little ring to it. But I'm away from school tomorrow attending meetings in Raleigh, as us principals have to do sometimes. And I was unable to do it tomorrow. So we're here today. Again, if you've missed if you missed this meeting or the previous one, you can get them on our YouTube page. And let me grab a quick link. And here's the link to last week's meeting. It's more general information about the school. Today, we will cover carpool and only carpool. And once I'm done covering carpool and we open up the floor for questions, the questions can be about anything, and that's fine. But we'll be covering carpool. We'll show maps and things of how to do morning and afternoon carpool. That'll be the main thrust of this one. I'll probably talk for half hour-ish, maybe. And then because we can go on and on and on about carpool if we need to. And then we'll open the floor for questions. If you have a question and it comes up and you want to put it in chat so you don't forget it, go ahead and put it in chat. I'll review all the questions in chat when I come out of my presentation. When I'm sharing, it's very hard for me to keep up with chat, admitting people in, and run my PowerPoint for you to see. So, but do put those questions in chat, and I promise I will get back there to them as best as I can when I'm done presenting. So again, welcome. We're really excited to have you here as part of our Stampede family, and I'm glad to have you. So today, carpool. And I don't know what you know about our carpool or what you've heard about our carpool, but you're going to learn more in a few minutes. I'll go ahead and start my PowerPoint here. Hopefully you see that. There we go. I think you're in good shape now. And again, this is day 2 of our new family orientation. And again, once again, we're recording this. We'll post it later today, and anyone can view and see this, or you can see it again, or you can, if dad is here but mom's not, you can walk through it together and look at the maps. I try to make things as big as I can because we all have to endure morning and afternoon carpool together. So hopefully this will help you navigate those first few days of carpool and get you set up for some success. And again, if you have questions as we go, you can post them in the chat. I promise I will review the chat when I am done presenting and try to answer all of your questions. If you want to save them to the end, that's also fine. So feel free to put them in the chat. So again, new family orientation. This is the carpool edition. And let's get started. Here we go. Carpool. First thing you need to know about carpool, especially at the start of the school year, is it will be horrible. It will be long. It will be hot. It will be slow. You're going to have that moment where you go, I heard it was bad. I didn't know it's going to be this bad. So if you have that thought, just know that I'm telling you, it's going to be that bad. It really will. The first few days of school, Wednesday, it is really long and slow. Thursday, it'll be a little better. Friday, a little better. Monday, a little worse because people will forget what they've learned on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then it will get better. Over the course of about the first 8 days of school, we get it down to where it normally runs quickly enough. But let me tell you, on Wednesday, on Wednesday when school starts, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Just resign yourself to the fact that it's going to be bad, and that's okay. It's just going to be bad on the 23rd when school starts, and it's going to be a little better every day, a little worse on that Monday, and then better, better, and better. I promise you. So first thing you know, it's going to be horrible. It's going to be bad. It's going to be slow. But I promise you, it will get better. I promise you, carpool gets better. It gets faster. It gets smoother. And people will remember the hints that I'm going to give out here in a little bit of how to navigate carpool and what to do as carpool gets started in the morning and the afternoon. So remember these hints, follow them when I get to them, and you'll navigate carpool just fine. Uh, but the first few days it's going to be really slow. So keep that in mind. The next thing you know, it will get better. So carpool is really two different situations. There's one for the morning, one for the afternoon. And so we're going to cover the morning carpool routine first with the morning carpool map. We'll talk about different things you can do for morning carpool, how things start, what to do, and even on the first day of school, if, for example, you want to walk your student in on the first day of school, which we allow. Just know that is come early if you want to do that. But then we'll cover afternoon carpool, pretty much the same directions inside the parking lot both times, but a little bit different of how we unload students and how we load students. So let's talk about morning carpool. First of all, carpool begins at 7:20 a.m. I'm going to use my mouse, so hopefully you can see it. At 7:20 a.m., we will come outside and begin our morning carpool routine. The map's a little bit old, so we used to be able to come turn left and right coming out of our parking lot, but that no longer is the case. You have to approach the school coming south on 220. There's no other way to approach it. So you'll approach the school coming this way, down 220, into our turning lane. Now, I've told you it's going to be bad. It will get backed up very quickly. So when we get to the hints a little later, remember, the earlier you come in morning carpool, the less traffic you will encounter. So you're going to approach the school coming south on 220, take the right turn in, and you're going to weave. We're going to have cones all set up all over so that it will direct you right this way. You'll take a turn, go to the right, and then from there you'll head behind the school and make a little kind of U-turn there. It's the only way that you go. So you're traveling south on 220. You'll immediately come around and weave around this way. You'll make that turn. And when you make that U-turn, this is where you'll decide if you want to go on the right lane or the left lane. Now, we pull up people at the same rate out of both lanes. So some people will swear to you the right lane is faster. Some people swear to you the left lane is faster. We kind of count cars and pull everybody up at the same time. So as far as that goes, I can't tell you. I don't really time it. But choose left lane or right lane and then stay in that lane for the entirety of carpool. So you'll choose your lane here, right there. It's only one lane. You have no choices till you get there. From there, you will pull around this way. Now, if you're following the complete carpool, we're going to go over this first. If you don't want to park and walk your child in, we'll follow that. We'll tell you what to do there in a second. So here you come. You're coming around. You've chosen left or right lane. You move around this way. This is blocked off. You can't turn in front of the school in the mornings. You'll weave around this way, make another kind of U-turn, go through their middle lane, and then there's a traffic director. The first one you'll get to is this yellow dot there. That traffic director helps people cross the crosswalk. So pay attention there, and you'll be able to see whether or not you can pull forward or not. So you could get stopped right there. Don't worry. You'll get caught up with everybody else in just a second. That's our first traffic director. This is the next traffic director that you'll see. When you make that final U-turn to move back towards the front of the school, you'll be stopped there. That's usually Mr. Gordon, but a few other people work there. It could even be me. I work that sometimes. And then we pull people up into the lane right beside our sidewalk by lane. Now, our our cars there are a little bit miscolored. Basically, what we do is pull cars that are in this blue lane up first so that they can pull up and make the turn. These cars, usually 8 of them, pull up to the north side of the crosswalk and fill in this area right here. As soon as your car comes up here and comes to a stop, your student can exit the cars and move towards the school on the sidewalk. The green cars are then let in about 8 at a time, and they fill in the back half of our carpool lane right there. So at any time, we have about 16, 17, 18 cars here unloading students. Now, what we ask you to do, a couple of things. One, you do not pull off from your spot here until the person in front of you moves. If somebody's moving a little bit slower and getting out of the car, we don't want other cars pulling around them, creating an unsafe situation. So if you try to do that, we will stop you. There's a traffic director here that would let you know when to pull up and what lane to go to. There's someone here that works the crosswalk who will stop cars here at the crosswalk to make sure we have enough room for people to walk. And there's another traffic director here that helps people exit and helps watch that end of carpool. Once your scholar exits the car and they're on the sidewalk, they're walking in the gym or they're coming in the front doors here, you then pull off this way and you'll make this long trip out. We only use, again, one lane to exit out. Even though we have 2 exits, or 2 exit lanes, we only use one exit, and you can only turn right out of our parking lot. Now, the first few days of school, it gets backed up everywhere. So keep that in mind. Just be patient. We're moving everyone as quickly and as safely as we can. So just be patient and just enjoy getting to see the school and the countryside and everything going on around the school. Now, again, some of the basics. Carpool begins at 7:20. So you're able to get in the parking lot and line up in this area here before 7:20. You can't even pull up in here in front of the school, but you do not exit your car until 7:20 or until staff is outside. We don't want scholars moving on our sidewalk or trying to get into the school without adults there to help supervise. So at 7:20, staff members come out to help. Normally, 7:20 to 7:40 is the time that you exit your vehicle and go into the gym. The gym is this part of the school right here, and there's a door right there. So in the mornings, when a student exits their vehicle, you exit your vehicle for 7:20, 7:40, and you'll go into the gym door right here. Inside the gym, students will sit according to grade levels. We have extra people in the gym to help this. We have signs on the floor to let them know where you sit. It's kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. And you'll sit quietly there in the gym. You can talk quietly with people who are sitting with you. But we don't run around. We don't play. We sit quietly there on the floor and wait for that part of carpool to be over. At 7:40, we'll begin to dismiss. We'll close the gym door here, dismiss our students out of the gym, and head them to the classroom, and students will begin to come in the front doors. The front door of the school is located right here. So once that gym door is closed, the only door to come into the school is right here at 7:40. So that goes from 7:40 to 8 o'clock. So it's really important that you follow those instructions, watch for that gym door to close, and when that closes, everyone comes in the door here. So there's a couple of different things that we want to make sure that you do not do. Do not park anywhere outside of a parking space in the morning. And it gets really delicate on some mornings, and in the first couple of days of school will be that way. We'll run out of parking places, so I'll tell you what to do if we do run out of parking spaces. But we don't want people getting out of their cars anywhere in our parking lot, outside, right up here in front of the school, unless you are in a parking space. If you're in a parking space, that's a different story, but we do not want you getting out of the car. We have people who want to hop out right in here and walk up the sidewalk. That's not allowed. We will send you back to your car and you'll need to follow carpool. We'll see people try to get out here so they can come up and try to make that an earlier turn to get out. Just be patient, stay in your car till you're either in a parked space or you're in front of the school. So that would really help us, helps navigate people. It helps people keep people pointed in the right direction, and it helps us stay safe. So what if you wish to walk your scholar inside? You should plan to park and walk in after 7:40. The area to park, excuse me, I have not hit the right button here, is right there. We call that our kind of our bottom or third lane of carpool. So when you come around here, making that kind of right turn to go around this way, you can find a parking space right in there. From there, you can get out, come up this sidewalk, cross traffic with the traffic director there, cross again here, and walk into the school. Now, we do not allow you to walk in the school between 7:20 and 7:40. That's why we tell you don't park until 7:40. We're going to stop you at the gym door. We're not going to let parents in. We're not going to allow you into the school. That's time for our teachers to get prepared for the day. And unless you have an appointment, you won't get any further. The front doors of the school won't open till 7:40. So if you need to do something in the office, drop something off for Terry or Kim or something like that, you need to do that after 7:40. Now, the first few days of school, it gets very crowded. On the first day of school, we will run out of parking spaces. Weather permitting, and if we're able to, staff members will park in our field right over here. However, if weather doesn't allow us to park in there, we do our best to free up as many parking spaces as we can. On the first day of school, we'll do our best to do so. So if you come in and you want to walk in and there are no parking spaces here, look for parking spaces in this area. And then if you run out, you got to do a loop and try to come back. We're doing the best we can to free up as many parking spaces as we will or as we can, but keep that in mind. So if you want to park and walk your scholar in, find a parking spot. I know it will be crowded. There will be lots of cars. There'll be lots of moving parts, especially on the first day. What we would really like to encourage you not to do that outside of that first day of school is to follow our carpool pattern. It helps all of us. The more people who are in the carpool line, stay in the carpool line, and we move through traffic as quickly and safely as we can. No more people that walk in can cause congestion. You cause congestion when you try to leave and back out. So we're asking you, if you would, first day of school is a little different because, it's very special. You may want to come in, take some pictures, things like that. And that's fine. And we want to honor that. But after that, we really ask you to follow the carpool line as is. So that's kind of morning carpool. Again, we don't want you to exit the car unless you're in a parking space or you're in front of the school. Do not get out of your car anywhere else. There are people who want to let their child out right in here. No student should be walking up through here without an adult with them. And that's kindergarten to 8th grade. I realize 8th graders might be able to navigate that on their own, but a kindergartner cannot. It's not safe. So we don't want any students walking through the parking lot without an adult with them. And that's morning and afternoon. So keep that in mind. So that's the morning carpool routine. The places that it gets really slow, some days it gets backed up and we're not able to exit as quickly as we would like to. Please be safe in exiting there. We have asked for things like the speed limit to be reduced and other things to help us out. Because this is a state road, we're not able to get even a school sign. And so while we're still trying to negotiate all that, please be very careful when exiting our school all the time. But in the morning, during morning carpool, it can get hectic. So just be patient. And the key to morning carpool is to come early. You'll encounter much less traffic at 7:20 than you do at 7:40, 7:45. Please keep in mind that everybody is coming in and has to be at school at 8 o'clock. We'll give some grace the first few days of school, not counting tardies, things like that. But soon after that, we will absolutely count tardies, anything after 8 o'clock. So please keep that in mind in the morning carpool. I know you may have questions. Again, if you have a question, throw it there in chat, and I'll come back and read that when we're done here, when I'm done presenting, to make sure that I answer all of those questions. You also can find some parking spaces in there, especially on the first day of school. Those will be your best spots. On a regular day of school, sometimes these get filled up if there's a little bit of a special event. Those will always be open. Our staff park right in here, so we can open up as many parking spaces as early as we can for our parents. So keep that in mind. If you're looking to park, those are your two areas. So, keys on morning carpool: be on time. Don't be late. The later you are, the harder it is to get through carpool. Scholars should be ready to exit the vehicle when it's time to access the sidewalk. Stop, drop, and roll down the window, forward roll onto the sidewalk. We don't need it that fast, but we don't want you to stop in front of the school and then see a scholar. Oh, I need to gather my stuff. Let me get this up. I got to get my books. Let me get my headphones off. When you pull into the parking lot, get ready to get out of the car. That really helps us because it slows down literally the entire carpool line if a car is not ready for their student to exit. We do understand that sometimes a scholar's having a hard morning. They need a little attention, and we understand that, and we'll help you and be there for you. But as best you can, have your students ready to go and out of the car. All scholars walking into the school must be escorted up to at least the crosswalk at the entrance. Now, it's the crosswalk right up there at the front of the school. You have to walk them out of the car, across that second crosswalk, up to the school door, and then you can go back yourself. And we discourage walk-up scholars as it slows down traffic flow in the parking lot. So keep that in mind in the morning. Again, be patient. It's going to take a while. There's going to be a lot of cars, going to be a lot of moving parts, especially the first couple of days of school. So just keep that in mind. I promise you it gets better. But be on time, come early. You'll miss most of the traffic. Let's talk afternoon carpool. Inside the parking lot, the traffic flow is pretty much the same in that you enter traveling south down 220. It's the only way to get into school. You come around this way and you go around behind the school. Again, things will be coned off so you can't get anywhere but there. And then you will pick a lane. And again, what we ask you to do is pick a lane and stay in that lane, because we're going to keep you in that lane all the way through the loading zone area and then out the building. So pick a lane and stay in it. Again, people will swear one lane moves faster than the other. We move up the same amount of cars in each lane both times. So we do our best to keep it fair, but keep that in mind. So you're coming in, you make the U-turn, pick your lane, left lane or right lane, stay in that lane all the way around. Again, if you're going to park and whatnot, we're going to tell you what to do. Okay. But right now we're covering the basics of afternoon carpool. Once again, you'll encounter a traffic person right here that helps people navigate that area, a crosswalk and cars moving. And you will find this orange dot here also this is where you will enter our driveline number. Now, what is a driveline number? Well, let me show you. This is my driveline number. It's a blue sign that you will need to be putting in your car. Notice the number is very, very big because we do everything by a number. We don't need to see your name. There's my name. It's really small. but we want to see that number. We want to see it displayed in the front of your car so that we can enter it. We have two people right in this area, that orange dot, that enter the number into our driveline system using their phone. The phone then enters it into the driveline system, and your scholar is alerted in their home room that you are there and are ready to come and pick them up, and they need to come outside. The best way to display this, and again, I've got stuff over there in boxes. I don't know if you see it because I'm still waiting on furniture in my office. I have one that shows you the best way to do this is to take a little hanger, clip it right there like this, hang it on your rear view mirror. We like it on the rear view mirror because we can see it. If you stick it on your dash, sometimes it changes the angle. It's very hard to see. There's glare off your windshield. It's difficult to see. Get this up when you pull in the parking lot. Find yourself a little hanger, hang it up on your mirror, and we can see it. So we will issue those to you at open house, and in other times you can pick it up at open house. Kim Jackson, our office administrator, she is the queen of carpool. She's the carpool person. There's a Google Doc, a Google form that you can enter in and get as many of these as you need. If you pick up and dad picks up and grandma picks up and granddad picks up, you need 4, 5, 6 of these. We will print as many of those as you need, because after the first few days of school, we will not allow people to pick up without this sign and without the blue sign. We change the color every year so that it's different. This is our security. If you've got to have this sign, we even put our logo on it there so that it's this color blue, and you got to have that sign. So you're in the parking lot, you got your sign up on your rear view mirror, you've pulled up to here, they have entered your number. At that point, it alerts your scholar inside that they need to come outside and go to the loading zone. Now, a little bit trickier, we do pull cars up in both lanes, and we load 2 lanes of cars during afternoon carpool. What you will do, once you get your number entered, you'll continue around. I need to get back in and recolor these because this map is a little old. And you'll pull in that lane straight forward to the crosswalk. There's a traffic director right here. They help people cross the crosswalk and stop cars from moving up. The only cars that get loaded are on the north side of the parking lot, which is the loading zone. We call it the LZ. Right up here is the loading zone. So this is where students get in their car. They will be alerted inside when their numbers comes up. They'll come out the front doors of the school. They'll turn to their right, head up to the loading zone. The loading zone is there by grade level. So they'll go to their grade level sign and stand there and wait for you to pull up. If you're in either one of these lanes, when you pull up, we expect students to be able to see this car. And the ones on the outside lane, we call out names as they pull up. So it lets that scholar know that their car is on the other side, on the outside lane. Students then get in the car, but nobody moves. Nobody moves until this traffic director moves that lane of cars. So don't try to move even after your scholar is in the car with you. Just relax. Wait for us to move cars. We don't move cars till everybody is set and ready to go. Then we'll send you out 1 lane at a time, out and up, and exit out of the school. So that's the basics of how afternoon carpool works. You come in, you pick your lane, you move around the school, make sure you got that sign up, hang it off your rear view mirror. That's really helpful. You will then have that entered right in this area right here. You'll continue to pull up to the crosswalk. Once you move by this crosswalk, you're in the loading zone, and we load your students. No student gets in the car anywhere else but in the loading zone area, which is right there. So if you see your scholar come out the door and you want to honk your horn and wave at them and say, hey, come get in the car, we'll stop them. We won't allow them to get in the car. In fact, that's one of my jobs on the first day of school. I work the sidewalk, pointing people up here to the loading zone, helping cars get up there, get moved. So I promise we'll walk our scholars through this on the first day of school so they'll know exactly what to expect in the afternoon. But again, especially the first few days of school, it is slow. A lot of everybody's learning how to do this again. We have new families that have never done this before. We have new people picking up that haven't been picked up before. So stay calm, be alert. The main thing, of course, in both carpool times is safety, making sure we follow and make things as safe as we can for the scholars. The second, of course, is try to be as quick as we can. But safety is number one for us. And we do not want students getting in the car anywhere else but in the loading zone. So some basics. Carpool begins at 3 o'clock, ends at 3:40. If you're not here by 3:40, you are late. Now, I'm going to tell you to come late and avoid traffic, but not later than 3:40. So we want you to be there on time. Parents will follow the same traffic pattern as the morning. Students assemble in the loading zone right here, and you enter the cars right in this area. You must have your driveline number visible when reaching the final turn of carpool, which is right here. We want it up. We want it in your hanging off your rear view mirror is the absolute best way so that these people can see it. Once you're in the car, wait for this person here to clear you, and we'll direct you out, and out you go just like in the morning. Those are sort of the basics of afternoon carpool. If you want to park, same thing as the morning. You need to park in these spaces here. Sorry, I hit my button too soon. You need to park in these spaces here. You'll walk across the crosswalk, and you'll come to the front of the school where a person is there to greet you and enter in your driveline number. So you need to come out of the car with your sign, walk up to the front of the school here. You'll see a staff member there in a yellow vest that will then enter your number, and you can wait patiently right here. We don't let parents get inside the school during afternoon carpool. We'll have time for teacher conferences and things. We want to keep carpool moving. So bring your sign, park here, bring your sign. It gets entered. Students will know that they are getting picked up front. They'll come out here and meet you, and you can go back across and back to your car. So don't be late. And when I say the key to afternoon carpool is to be late, I mean not later than 3:40 late. Often after school, we have lots of things happening at the school. We have staff meetings, teacher conferences, all kinds of things happening, and we need to make sure we get to them. It's also time for our teachers and whatnot to get their things together and go home. So don't be late. Don't be late in afternoon carpool. That's really important to us. If you want to avoid waiting in long lines, come a little later in the process, but be on time. For example, I can tell you that if you are, let me go back. If you're in the afternoon carpool line and you're this last little green car here, you're the last person to get in our parking lot. It takes about 20 minutes to move all the way through, pick up your scholar, and get out. Okay? So on the first day of school, we'll be backed up. We'll be backed up on 220 more than likely because people won't remember that I said come late. So come a little later. You'll avoid traffic. So when I say come later, come at 3:15. Come at 3:30. You'd be greatly surprised the less traffic you will encounter if you come a little later in the afternoon carpool process. So keep that in mind. It takes a while to get all the way through our parking lot. So just be patient. Make sure you have your driveline number sign up where it is visible for staff to see. And to the scholars, again, little hooks, little bitty those hangers with the little clamps. Hang it right on your rearview mirror, and we'll be able to see it. So that is basically your morning and afternoon carpool routine. I know it's a lot of information to process, uh, and it's one of those things that it's really difficult to do and show without you really being in it. So the number of cars that are coming, the number of people who will find carpools and come a little more early and come a little later will help us. So here are your carpool hints. Three things about carpool. One, come early, come late. Come early in the morning, come later in the afternoon. You come at 7:20 on a normal regular day, you will be able to pull right through our carpool line, which is uh, pretty amazing, especially when it gets to it on a regular basis. Uh, if you come later in the afternoon, if you're coming in at 3:30, 3:35, remember 3:40 is the latest, you'll be able to pull through our parking lot, not wait as long, and be able to get to the loading zone fairly quickly. So come early in the morning, come later in the afternoon. Avoids traffic, helps us spread out our cars, helps everything move smoothly. That's the big hints. Come early in the morning, come later in the afternoon. Be patient. Stay patient. We can get backed up on 220 even on a regular school day. On our first few school days, we'll definitely be backed up on 220. You'll need to be patient at the light. You'll need to be patient getting into the school, and of course, patient inside of our parking lot. One of the things that we do not want people to do is at our stoplight. When I'm talking about our stoplight, when you drive past the school, you have to make that U-turn to come back to the school. I call that our stoplight. They put that in there pretty much for us. So at our stoplight, there are people who sometimes go to that stoplight, take a right, turn down that side road, make a little U-turn, and come back to the stoplight. Now, when our families do that, what happens is that stoplight cycles and it stops traffic flowing north and south on 220 and allows that car to then make a left turn to head back to the school. Sounds like it's really nice. However, what that does is make everything come to a standstill. It causes a light cycle, which means our cars can't turn. And the more people who do that, the more and more it slows it up. So please do not do that. Please don't make that left turn. I know there are some people who will, and I will say this probably all the way to October to stop doing that. But just be patient. Find the line, wait in it, because we're all going to be in that line one way or the other. And I promise you that the people outside, the staff members who stand in the rain and in the cold and in the wind are doing everything they can to help your scholars be as safe as possible and to make this go as quickly as possible. So be patient. Be patient. I promise you, we're doing everything we can to make this to go as safely and as quickly as possible. Last hint, don't be that parent. Don't be that parent that comes in late regularly on the afternoon. Something happens. We all have emergencies. We all have flat tires. We all have cars that break down, and we'll help you when that happens. But don't be the person who we're regularly standing here at 3:45, 3:50, 3:55, 4 o'clock, waiting on you. We have other things we need to get to. We have families that we need to take care of. And part of your responsibility of being a part of this partnership is getting your child and your scholars to and from school. And to do that in a timely fashion is definitely helpful. Also, don't be that parent who comes up on the first day of school and says, boy, it's never been this bad. I always have a little something in my pocket for one of our parents, existing parents, who comes and tells me carpool's never been this bad. And it's been the same. And I promise you, it gets better. If you're patient, if you come early, you come late, it will get better. And I always have new families to go, you said it would be bad, and it really is. I'm like, well, that's why I tell you that. But you also said it would get better, and it really has. And I promise you, this is year 25 for me at NHA schools. almost 20 of which I've been a principal leading carpool times. I promise you, it gets better. Don't judge carpool from the first day of school. It's going to get so much better after that. So, little funny meme here. You said you were leaving on time today. The fact that I'm making this meme instead of driving determined that was a lie. Be on time in the morning and the afternoon. I'm going to come back and stop my presentation, and I'll jump in the chat box here, see what chat questions we have. Now's the time to ask questions. You don't have to ask questions about carpool. It's fine if you have other questions, but I'm going to jump in here and see what we might have in chat box. Are the doors locked during school? Okay, we covered that in our first meeting, but yes, I'm happy to go through that. The doors that are unlocked for school are the two front doors of the school. We are working on a system that would allow us to buzz people in from the outside. We don't quite have that in yet. So right now, during the school day, the only doors that are unlocked are those two out. I'm pointing to them as you can see them. I don't know why I'm pointing to them. Doesn't help you. But are those two double doors right out front. That allows you to get in the foyer. From there, you cannot get anywhere else in the school. You have to be buzzed into the office before you can get into the school proper. So we are working with NHA to develop a system that will allow us to buzz people in from the outside, giving one more layer of security. We're hoping to have that installed soon. We don't quite have that installed just yet. If the students get there early, can they eat their breakfast in the gym? We don't serve breakfast. We would discourage you from eating in the gym if they haven't eaten. And if they need to eat, that can happen. But remember, gym's a classroom. I count gym as a classroom. We want to make sure that it's neat and taken care of, because shortly after morning carpool, students will be in there learning. So we discourage you from eating in the gym. But if it's a must, we can't. We do not serve breakfast here. And so breakfast really needs to be taken care of at home. Often kids eat in the car. I see that a lot. They'll get out of the car with their breakfast things and throw them in the trash can in front of the school. But keep that in mind. We discourage eating in the gym. How would the last name sign work if you did carpool with another family? There's a couple of different ways we do that. What normally happens is that if you have a carpool, say you have a Monday, Wednesday carpool and a different carpool Tuesday, Thursday, you'll work with Kim Jackson here in the office, and we'll print up signs for you so that you can have that. You may have a sign like this, but it has 2 or 3 numbers on it. So it says 795, 794, and 793. And when you pull up there with that, we enter those 3 numbers so that we know that that's a carpool that gets in your car. If you have different ones on different days, we can print, as many signs as you need with whatever combination numbers that we need. We also give these out, as many as we can, to a family. So let's say you have your family has 3 different carpools. Often parents will take my sign here, and on Monday it's displayed in Mrs. Smith's car. On Tuesday it's in Mr. Jones's car, and on Wednesday it's in Mrs. Swafford's car. And so we give everybody a copy, and people have copies that they need. So there's a couple of different ways we do that. We'll often put 3 different ones on the card. You'll coordinate that through that Google form that we'll be sending out here soon. We'll coordinate it with Kim Jackson here in the office, and she prints out and handles these right here. So keep that in mind. They will get that. And security, I think I went over there. So what happens at 8 o'clock, we will close the front doors of the school in the morning. We close our security doors. That's what I call them. Back here in the back, they're locked. And anybody that's coming in after 8 o'clock needs to be walked in by their parent to the front desk where they'll sign in for tardies. We'll give students some grace period for a couple of days during the first few days of school, so that it takes a little bit longer for carpool. Yes, for kindergarten camp, people park and walk them in. There's obviously plenty of parking during kindergarten camp because kindergarten will be the only ones there. Our teachers will be out front greeting you and help you take care of it. Kindergarten camp's one of those things. They show our kindergarten students how they do carpool as well, so they'll learn all about the school. So I know that's coming up later this week. The screening is going on now. I can see at least one family. I can see their phone, and I can see that they're down the hall, and they're watching me from right down the hall there. So that's kind of fun. But yes, kindergarten camp, you kind of park and walk them in. Uh, yeah, for kindergarten camp, you won't need to worry about the spots won't be full. Uh, if you park, question here, if you park in the third row on the first day of school to walk your child in, will it take a really long time to exit? It takes a really long time for everyone to exit, especially on the first day of school. Our lines get backed up and it gets slow because there's more cars in the parking lot than our parking lot can handle. So there's a lot of overflow. So just be patient on the first few days of school. After that, it doesn't take any more or less time to exit um, if you park and walk in, or if you go through the carpool line. In fact, I think it takes even longer if you park and walk in because you have to park, you have to navigate parking, you have to navigate walking up to the school, walking back to your car, you got to navigate getting out, just backing out of your parking space and trying to get out there. And then you got to make your way uh, out in a different way. So I encourage people to just follow carpool. I think it saves you time. Uh, Chris, if we have an emergency and had to call someone to get the kids and we can't get them the car line number, okay, sure. Will they still be able to pick up if we call the school? You said no one can pick up without the number. Yes. If they don't have that number in an emergency situation like that, you call the school and let us know. But that person needs to park and walk in. They will park in the parking lot, walk into the front door where we'll do a quick security check on that person, make sure that it's okay for, you know, Mr. Smith to pick up Mr. Swafford today, and that Mr. Smith is who he says he is. So we do a security check, but we ask them to come in and walk into the front office where our front office does that quick security check, gets the ID, make sure they're on the pickup list or this is the person that was communicated to, and then we then call the scholars down for that person. So we make provisions for an emergency like that. But again, we'll print as many cards as possible. So if you want grandma and grandpa to have a card, just let us know. We'll print the cards for them. They can have one on standby in case they ever need it. Keep it in the glove box. Emergency comes up, they're over to the school, pull the card out, takes care of that. But if not, you can park and walk into the school, have some ID, have some security check, and then we'll call the scholar down. Uh, can you bring
Uh,
classroom supplies when they come for kindergarten camp? You can. You can bring classroom supplies then. You can bring classroom supplies on open house. And of course, you can bring them on the first day of school if you need to. So, our kindergarten families or teachers are, well, they're pretty excited. It's the first time they're all four here today, greeting each other. It's fun. They haven't seen each other in a while, but they'll help take care of you at kindergarten camp, open house, and especially on that first day of school. I think I mentioned this at last meeting. One of my most favorite things to do on the first day of school is to see if we have more scholars crying or more parents crying, uh, and usually the parents win. There's usually more parents crying, so we'll help take care of you on that first day of school. Uh, so yes, you can bring them to kindergarten camp if you need to, or at open house, or on the first day of school. I don't know if there's any more questions. Just one more time, I just want to stress: be patient when it comes to morning and afternoon carpool. Just follow the lines. We'll help you out, especially early on. We'll be as friendly as we can, point you out in the right directions. Even if we have to offer you some correction, we'll help you with that. Um, just know it's going to be slow. First 3 or 4 days of school, it'll be really slow, and then it'll picks up exponentially every day after that. And then we'll get into our basic routine where the whole process takes 35 to 40 minutes in the morning. You're not spending 35 to 40 minutes, but beginning to end for all of us, 35 to 40 minutes. So again, just be patient. Remember, it's going to be bad, but I promise it will get better. And again, if you want to show this recording, I'll have it recorded and posted a little bit later today. Send out that link for you, and you'll be able to see what's happening. You can show it again. You can pull it up and pause the maps and take a look at it and follow that flow as we go. The video is going to be on the SCA YouTube page. And I will send out a link this afternoon once it gets posted. It takes a little while. Google Meet has to download it. Then you have to download the video, then upload it to YouTube. Process takes a little while, so we won't get that done until probably this afternoon. Be able to send the link out tomorrow. But if you go to Google Somerville Charter Academy YouTube, sends you to our page. There's a handful of videos there. There's probably last year's video of this already up. If there are no other questions, again, thank you for coming today. Part 2 of New Family Orientation next week. We'll meet, I believe, at 10 o'clock on Tuesday. Just like this again, next week will be what to expect on the first days of school and open house. And we'll talk about that and help you get you set up for success for that first week of school and for even navigating open house, which is coming up in 2 weeks. So it's pretty exciting for us. So thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person, hopefully soon, and being able to help you out. It's always fun to see where people are. I see people in their car. I see people down the hall. There's Jeremy. He's working on what looks like a big old engine there, I think. I'm not sure. So thanks for taking part of your time to learn more about SCA and to help set your scholar up for success here in the days ahead. So I look forward for you being here. And again, you can reach out to me through email and whatnot, and be glad to help you navigate those first few days of school. Thanks for coming. Look for the postings here a little bit later this afternoon or in the morning. Have a great rest of your day.